So Labour have decided to drop the Tory proposals to ban terrorists from actually being able to get on the social housing list and therefore accrue a social house. And Priti Patel has come out and, other than saying she doesn't want to leave the ECHR, which I have deep reservations and sort of it basically tells me all I need to know. But putting that to one side, she has said that this decision that Labour, and it was Matthew, what's his name? It's like Moneypenny, but it's not quite Moneypenny. It's Matthew, where is he?
Goodwin? Not
I,
Goodwin,
I
no.
don't know any of Pennycook, not Moneypenny. Matthew Pennycook. And he is the Labour minister who has confirmed that the government, Labour government obviously, had no plans to deliver the reforms that would ban terrorists from actually being able to get on the social housing list. So meanwhile, of course, the context being in the whole of Britain that there is a massive shortage of housing. There is a chronic shortage of housing that includes social housing stock. And basically the Conservatives, I mean, quite understandably said, if you are a terrorist, you can't actually get this. But then again, I'm assuming that everyone that is watching this and everyone that is currently taking part in this discussion is probably going to be on some kind of Labour list as terrorists. So maybe we should thank our lucky stars.
Well, they're going to call us social terrorists or something like that, right?
Well,
ex-terrorists.
Exactly.
Lock me up.
So, I mean, the fact of the matter is here that this is just sort of symptomatic of Labour's priorities, isn't it, Chloe? And that this is just the direction we're headed in as a country. And it actually feels really quite depressing because, 2 days ago, or was it on Sunday now? It may well have been on Sunday, that we had 700 people cross the channel in one single day, which is a record. And therefore, the housing stock ain't going to get better anytime soon. I mean, for example, I just went for a walk earlier and I saw outside of a church a load of people that I'd never seen before. And I thought, hang on a minute. Who are they? And when you can just tell, well, I could tell. I'm probably going to get clipped up now and accused of racism. But you can tell. And I just think it's going to get a hell of a lot worse, Chloe.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to get a lot worse before it gets better under this Labour government, if it ever gets better. And I think that I just thought it was so audacious of them to start announcing policy changes like these after the riots. It just shows that they are completely blind or do not care whatsoever about the genuine grievances in British communities that were the cause of these riots. All they want to do is point their finger at a few people on social media like Nigel Farage and that lady who got the identity of the Southport stabber wrong and just say, oh, it's all just because of them. It's all just because of a few social media posts. It's got nothing to do with migration, and we can keep on just letting the boats coming in and also letting the numbers of legal migrants coming in stay sky high. They don't care. They don't give a damn. And the British people are just going to get angrier and angrier. We may see the riots dampen down after sort of the first flurry of them dies down and Keir Starmer starts threatening arrests. But those long-standing grievances, they're not going to go away. They're just going to get worse if the Labour Party starts prioritising terrorists and people who are not born in this country for houses, when you've got so many people in this country who... we've got people choosing between heating and eating because their rents and their mortgages are so high because of the housing crisis that we've got. It's just another two fingers up to the British people. And I've had enough of it. And I'm sure many people in this country have had enough.
Yeah. Alex, this is quite a non sequitur. But Tracy just said on YouTube, I hope you can see it on screen. She said, I got a warning off YouTube, so please be careful. Now, are you, serious question, are you worried about that? Like, have you over recent days been more concerned about that than you likely would have been in the past?
Yeah, so much so, Darren, that I actually did a full review of every group, every WhatsApp group, every Facebook group, anything that anyone's ever put me in, and made sure that if I got arrested for free speech, which, you know, a lot of us here are outspoken voices, we're probably classed as dissidents in this day and age, which is incredible, really. And I just made sure that there's nothing on there that the police would go, right, you're part of this group and this banter here is illegal. And I thought, right, I better just completely be careful
We'd have
about
fun in the
where I'm
gulag.
at. Yeah, have fun in the gulag, Alex. And you know, it is scary. And I think what's scariest the most is that the government have changed the rules overnight. Now, let's be clear. The Tories wrote these laws. These are laws the Conservative Party has put into place over 14 years, a continuation of the Blairism censorship. Blair was nowhere near this far left. Let's just be super. I am no Tony Blair fan, but he makes Keir Starmer and his current government make Tony Blair look left wing. But it is terrifying. Freedom of speech is massively under attack, and the Labour bots online are going to downplay it. On this specific topic about the social housing, I just want to remind the audience there's two reasons as to why you might be, if you are applying for social housing, you might be at the back of the queue, or you might have a foreign terrorist ahead of you. One, Angela Rayner is removing the proposals the Tories put in place to prioritise social housing for British people. Very sensible policy. They should have done it over the 14 years they're in power, but they're removing that. That's number one. Number two, she's also removing, as you can see here, the ban on terrorists getting social housing completely. So you might find yourself further behind the queue than an actual condemned, charged terrorist in our country. And to me, that is the ultimate insult to the working class people of Britain, who traditionally would vote for Labour.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. And a lot of people are saying in the comments as well, the sentiments sort of expressing that actually we need this government to be a 5-year government. Otherwise, there won't be a country left to actually do anything with. And I think that's a pretty good point. It's a pretty good remark
Darren,
to make.
Darren, on that, do you remember on the Saturday 5 we had Toby Young come in? I think it'd be useful to repeat some of his words if you can remember what he was saying about even after 5 years, how much damage might be done.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So he was talking about the fact that, well, the online safety bill, which the Tories stupidly passed, is going to be weaponised and actually strengthened. And, well, I mean, you look across the internet today, right? You look across the internet, I look across my social feeds, and I see person after person absolutely terrified, scared witless of what might happen to them if they post something online. I'll just go through a list of them just so we can see the extent to which there is a problem. So this man was called Lee Joseph Dunn, Lee Joseph Dunn, and he works for Sellafield, which is a nuclear power plant it's in Cumbria, isn't it? And he was put in prison, but it's in Carlisle, sorry. And he was put in prison for sharing 3 Facebook posts. And the prosecutor picked them out. And there were 3 posts. One showed groups of Asian men with captions like, "Coming to a town near you." Well... after hopping off a small boat, and when it's on your turf, then what? Asking that question. One image depicted men wielding knives in front of the Palace of Westminster. You know, it really isn't that uncommon for there to be knives in the city of London. You look at the past week or so, there have been 26 separate incidents of knife crime. Now, none of those posts actually incited violence or anything like that. But despite that, he was locked up for that. Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk, and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.